Hi, we're here at the North Offaly Ploughing match where over 70 people from across the country are competing ahead of this week's National Ploughing Championships. They're getting some practice in on the Offaly soil, but Agriland caught up with two people who are well used to the ground conditions. Ger Mann, who'll compete in the Mocker class, and Laura Grant, who'll compete in Farmerette. So we're here with Ger Mann, he's ploughing in the Mocker class. So Ger, you qualified for this match last spring, so tell us a little bit about the preparation since that time.
Yeah, so we qualified last spring. We had 3 matches. As I say, we had 2 before the All-Ireland last year, so that also led up to it. And then between that and now, we've been kind of out practicing, trying to get as much in as we can. The last week I've done quite a bit of practice in the run-up to this, and we had a ploughing match yesterday, a local ploughing match, so that was also aimed towards preparation. And again here today, probably try and get some more in again tomorrow if possible before the All-Ireland.
A few last minute bits.
A few last minute preps, yeah.
Okay, and just to describe to people, so you had a match today and you had a match yesterday, but otherwise you're practicing at home in your field. So what are you doing when you're at home?
Yeah, so we generally know the plot size and stuff like that, so go out and mark out a few plots, try and get some measurements together for the All-Ireland. We'd be out trying to see what works best in different types of soil, what's the best way to go, changing bits on the plough, trying to get them right, and it all leads to the day of the All-Ireland, really.
And just, you only live about 7 or 8 miles from the actual ploughing site. So do you feel that gives you an advantage, or is it good to practice on soil nearby, or would the soil where you'd be practicing be like Screggan?
Yeah, we'd be kind of all on the one soil type, and here today is probably the most similar soil type. It's that slight bit stonier and stuff, which the All-Ireland ploughing site tends to be, but it's all kind of loose enough soil. We'd be all practicing on the same type of stuff, so it's good to be close and have that advantage, I suppose, if you like.
And you've been ploughing in the Mocker class for a few years. You came second last year. Do you feel maybe this year is your year, or are you feeling confident this year?
That wasn't my first time to come second, and unfortunately I didn't win it the year after, so I was 6 All-Irelands, I think, or 5 runner-up medals, but hopefully this year being the last year and Offaly, it'll be nice to win it and bring it back to the county.
Yeah. And just looking at your plough here and all the ploughs around, it's not like your average plough that you'd see in a tillage farm. Can you maybe describe a few of the differences that you might have here? Yeah,
so I suppose the big thing is the boards. They're a number 25 body. They're totally different to the standard one. They're much longer, much more curved. This is the new type of match plough, the spring-loaded ones. So there was a lot of work had to go into this. We had to put rams on it to be able to lift the board. And in order to do that, then we had to put winders on the back of the board to level it back out when we lift it up with the ram. So there's quite a lot to it, quite a good bit more to be done with it, but time and money says otherwise, so for now it's just stick with it as is.
And Ger, you're in the Mocker class, you're an active member of Offaly Mocker. Is there anything exciting happening in Offaly Mocker at the minute?
Yeah, well, I suppose coming to that time of the year now, we have the Queen of the Land Festival coming up. I'm chairman of that, so it's a busy time of the year. There's always plenty going on in Mocker. The National Rally will be on a couple of weeks as well. And I'm on National Council as well, so it's all keeping me going at the minute, everything in between. But look, Mocker's a fantastic thing to be involved in, and I think, even being in the Mocker class, it's great to be able to represent your county in something. So it's coming to that time of the year, all competitions are on, a lot of events on, and plenty to be doing in Mocker at the moment.
And is there good camaraderie within the class? Are there people from other counties that you'd know from going to the rally or going to other events?
Yeah, we'd kind of know most of them at this stage. I believe that there's 9 or 10 of us in the class now. I'm pretty sure I know most of those at this stage, either from being in Mocker or just from the ploughing class itself. So I know you ploughed in it yourself at one stage, so it's certainly, we do all know each other at some stage in the class.
That's great, Ger. Best of luck. Okay. So we're here with Laura Grant. She's ploughing in the Farmerette class for Offaly. So Laura, tell us, how's preparations going? How's the match going today, first of all?
Yeah, conditions are good. I suppose in the last little while, the drought, it's making things much harder. The ground certainly is very hard. I think conditions are going to be like that pretty much next Wednesday as well in Screggan. But you're looking, it's just one of these things, you kind of have to make adjustments. I've added extra weight to the ploughs and extra point, new points or whatever, so please God, it'll be okay and run okay.
It'll be a big change from last year. It was a washout last year, the day the farmerette class was on. So is it a lot nicer to plough this year, obviously?
Absolutely. Well, I think next week actually the weather forecast is pretty bad as well. So you just have to kind of go with the flow on the day. And no matter what measurements you get in your own field at home, they're always going to change when you go into someone else's field, because the weather, the soil conditions, everything is just different. So you kind of have to, you'll use your standard measures, but you kind of have to change them, I suppose, with respect to the day or to the soil conditions in present.
And the farmerette class, you're no stranger to it. You won it in 2016, was it? And you were third last year. How are you feeling for this year?
Well, sure, every year you want to win it, I suppose. But I started in 2012, so I haven't only been doing it this year or last year. I'm no stranger to it. But I suppose the one thing about ploughing is you have to have great patience, and I did want to win it eventually one day. And I said, I don't know when it'll be, but my year came 2016. It was a great year for me. I was delighted. It was great being called out on top, definitely that evening at 6 o'clock. It was great.
And you won it in Offaly as well, which was a big thing. Like, how does it feel to be in Offaly and ploughing in your home county?
Well, I suppose when it came to Offaly, there was a great vibe around Offaly ploughing. There was great atmosphere. It was great that the ploughing was finally coming to Offaly, and I suppose it was a great achievement, for Offaly ploughing as well to get it to Offaly. And I suppose there was a tad of pressure as well to a certain extent. Now in 2016, Offaly actually had 3 winners, so myself was one of them. So it was great. I suppose, as I said to you before, the pressure was on when you're on home soil, and it was even sweeter to win it on home turf. So it was great. I was delighted to do it for myself, but also for my mum and dad. Dad pumped so much money into it, and effort and work, because I tell you, it costs an awful lot of money to do. So it was great in that sense as well. And
that's it, exactly. Like, this is a very complicated looking plough. It costs a lot of money. There's a lot of effort gone into it.
Absolutely.
And just how are preparations going at the minute? I know you started a new job. Was it this week or last week? You're with Grassland Agro.
Yeah.
It must be hard to fit in time for practice.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I started my new job at Grassland Agro, so I'm technical sales advisor with them in the Longford Westmeath area. So every evening, going into late nights, turning into darkness, you'll be out trying to get in a bit of practice. I made no major changes this year, so measurements are kind of staying the same, I suppose, as such. But you could stay pumping money into this and time and effort, but there is a certain aspect of luck associated on the day as well, because you could turn up and you could get a really bad plot. Another occasion, you could be going really well and you could hit a stone. And that has happened to me as well. I would have been considering myself to be going quite well in All Ireland, and then boom, you'd hit a stone and it would ruin everything. So as I say, you can put in all the practice and all the effort, and you can spend, but you do need a certain amount of luck on the day as well.
And just to explain a bit about the farmerette class, like the mocker class and the under 21, you have a helper. So how does that work on the day?
Yes, well, Dennis, actually, I've had a few helpers now, and I must say South Offaly Ploughing was very good in helping me. And I had a lot of helpers. I had Sean Bracken, club member, and I had Dennis Catlin from North Tip. But my current coach, I suppose, is Dennis Dooley from Stradbally. He's actually ploughing here today, so I'm on my own today.
Okay.
But he's ploughing. I think it's so important. You have to have a good helper that you get on with, and somebody that's actually going to push you to achieve what you want. In that, I was so lucky, because I get on so well with him, and he's a great help. Now on the day, it's all, they can just stand at the headland. Whenever your plough enters the ground, that's you done. You have to do everything yourself. He can put up his hand and give you a bit of advice, but that's it. When you're in, and that's it then.
And the farmerette class, Laura, you've won it before. If there's an opportunity there to go on to the test match, is that something that you'd aspire to?
Well, whenever I won the All Ireland in 2016, everybody was asking me, "Are you off to the world? Are you off to the world?" And I said, "Unfortunately not." But if I wanted, there is an opportunity if you wanted to plough against the men. Unfortunately, there's not an actual class at world level for girls. But there is an opportunity if I wanted to go into the test match against the men and plough in the world. It's something perhaps that I could look into in the future, but I think number one is to win the All Ireland again.
That's your number one goal, and we wish you the best of luck in it, Laura, on Wednesday. So thanks very much.